This is the course instructor, Mrs. Khan, and the course we are going to learn how to use IT project management. The topic we are discussing right now is project and management. Before heading towards today's lecture, I'm going to revise the whole previous lecture that we discussed in last class. First, we will discuss about what is project scope management. Under which we will discuss three different definitions of scope, deliverable, and project scope. After that, we discuss project scope management process, in which we discuss about scope planning, scope definition, creating work breakdown structure, scope execution, and scope building. I hope you have already understood all the given concepts, and if you any query regarding this, then you are more than welcome to ask any kind of question on Google Classroom. I'll be readily available for you to answer your question, or you can email me at my email address. Next part that we discuss is the summary of project scope management and scope planning. What would be the process of scope planning? What would be the output? And then we discuss the definition and its output, work breakdown structure and its output, controlling the output, and scope control and its output. So we've discussed every process phase with its output. Next, I've told you about scope management plan and what is it really means. What would be the documented form of scope management plan that will be your work with for sure. नेक्स्ट हम लोगों ने जो चीज़ डिस्कस की है वो है आपके पास 7 डिफरेंट स्टेप्स जो कि आपको स्कोप मैनेजमेंट प्लान के दौरान डिस्कस करने हैं एंड those 10 different stages are analyzed, aligned, so the process flow, project flow, and content. After that, we discussed about project scope statement and project scope definition, in which we discussed that in project scope statement, we have to discuss the description of the project, the detailed description of project deliverable and its characteristics. Other than that, what comes under scope definition or scope statement is success criteria, the boundaries of the project, success criteria, milestones, and order of cost. I've given you several examples with this in last class, in the last recording. You can see lesson, or you can understand that concept clearly. And rest is up to you if you want to ask that. वर्क ब्रेकडाउन स्ट्रक्चर और इसकी डिकम्पोजिशन के बारे में पढ़ा था, वर्क पैकेज के बारे में पढ़ा था, और हम लोगों ने डिसाइड किया कि वर्क पैकेज जो है वो सबसे स्मॉल यूनिट है जिसके बाद आपके काम को डिवाइड नहीं किया जा सकता, और ह्यूरैरिकी का ये सबसे लीस्ट लेवल होता है। वर्क ब्रेकडाउन स्ट्रक्चर में प्रोजेक्ट स्कोप स्टेटमेंट के बारे में डिस्कस किया था। आउटपुट्स देखे थे, WBS जो है वो एक आउटपुट है। देन वी डिस्कस अबाउट WBS. I've already given an example. I've downloaded it from the internet, and you can also get any kind of examples of work breakdown structure, work breakdown structure. As I told you, that work breakdown structure is basically a task oriented distribution approach in which you have to divide your project main concept into several whole units, into several modules, and each module has to be sort out separately. And in work breakdown structure dictionary, you have to give description of each and every module about which you are going to talk about which you are going to distribute the task. So the output would be work breakdown structure and work breakdown structure dictionary. Then I gave examples of work breakdown structure that can be in the form of product areas, project phases, and your work breakdown structure can be in tabular form also. Most of the students knew about this type of hierarchy when the word comes in your mind, work breakdown structure. We used to think about this type of hierarchical T-type structure. But this T-type structure can be in the form of a table, a numerical table, or a level-wise list. in which you have to learn that first level, and the next level would be the indented level of the first one. And if this next level, the second level has further some parts or any further pre-distribution or any other level or hierarchy, then that level would then again be indented with right, and you have to mention all those levels. Like here in this slide, you can easily see that the main part is 1.0, that is concept. 1.1 and 1.2 is the subparts of 1.0. 1.2 have further four parts, that is 1.2.1, 2.3, 2.4. And then the 1.0, the main distribution further continues towards 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, and 1.6. And then the next distribution is on the main level, that is 1.3, 1.4, 5.0. This is tabular form of first level. Then we discussed about different approaches to develop working on structure, and those approaches are analogy approach, top-down approach, and bottom-up approach. Bottom-up approach. Other than that, we have another approach, that is mind mapping. But we've discussed in analogy approach, we've discussed that whenever it comes to whenever the stage comes, when you have similar kind of projects, and you have to choose uh, from the given data, then you can simply edit the previous work breakdown structure, and you can adjust it according to your new project. But this approach can only be useful when you have similar type of project that you have already done so far. Top-down approach is basic approach which you already which we used to do, that is a hierarchy or top-down or project conquer strategy, in which you have a main module, and then this main module is further decomposed into sub-modules. So this is your top-down approach. What's about the bottom-up approach? In bottom-up approach, we have to start with the leaf level, that is the lowest level, and then you have to move upward. So you can say that bottom-up approach is the opposite or the contrasting approach of top-down approach. When it comes to mind mapping approach, mind mapping is something your brainstorming kind of thing. Whatever whatever comes into your mind, you just have to draw the arrows outside the main idea, whatsoever the main project idea is, and you have to draw it sideways. So it would be your mind mapping. Then we discussed about mind mapping in detail. We discussed that mind mapping can be helpful with the help of words, pictures, numbers, music, logic, colors, spatial awareness. We've discussed this diagram also. And then I let you know about these different stages or these different steps of mind mapping. That gives you have the idea now that what it is. Then again, working down structure dictionary and scope based learning. Then we discussed about scope verification. That is another important part of scope management, because if you are not able to verify the scope, then that means that you have no control over your scope. And if you do not have any kind of control over your scope, that means you are going to deviate from the given scope, and the deviation may lead to the failure of the project. Then we discussed about scope control and variance. Variance is basically that thing that I'm already discussing, that is the diversification of your main project. If you are going to diversify from the main project or the actual project, that means we are going to have a variance. And variance is what? The difference between the actual project and what is happening right now. So it could be the difference between plan and actual. In today's lecture, What we are going to start with is best practices for avoiding scope problems. What things or which kind of things would be helpful to avoid any kind of scope problem? First thing first, keep the scope realistic. You should have to be very much realistic while writing down or jotting down the notes about the scope. Now, what the scope is, this is basically the boundary of your project. What you are going to do with your project in the given boundary, and what you are not going to do with your project within the given boundary. These basic things decide the scope of your project. So the scope should be realistic. Realistic in terms of time, realistic in terms of cost, realistic in terms of money. So don't make projects so large that they can't be completed. Break large projects down into a series of smaller ones. Why this is so? Because you have a finite range of time. There would be the definite project start and the definite project end also. And if you are not going to end your project within the given range of time, that means you are diversifying from the scheduled project. And if this is so, that means you are not realistic. You were not realistic that time, and now you are making some unprofessional kind of behavior, or you are showing that kind of attitude that is not at all professional. So, at first stage, you should have to think that what reality is, and according to that reality, your professionalism demands you to be realistic at the very first stage so that it will be helpful for you to successfully end the project. Second thing for the best practice for avoiding scope problem is involve users in project scope management. Why to involve users or which type of user you should have to involve is the question. Now, keep the thing in mind that we've already discussed about stakeholders or key stakeholders. Those stakeholders are basically the people who are somehow or the other involved in your project. So if the people who are involved in your project are somehow or the other are the end user of the project. The end users or the users if involved in your project, that means they would be very much realistic. They would be known about the project, about the project environment, about its scenarios. They would be known about the manual work that is being done before, and they would be known what things come with the help of this project. So involve users in project scope management, that is assign key users to the project team and give them ownership of requirement definition and scope verification. Why is that so? Because if you people are not allowing the end users to give their requirements as per their demands, then your project would not be as much successful as it have to as it should have. So your project can be a good project if it is according to the requirements or the demands of the user. And the next thing is it would be easy to verify your scope. Why is that so? What is scope verification? Scope verification is basically checking the difference between the actual and the proposed project. If the difference is minimum, that means that you have achieved whatever the requirements has been given so far. And if the difference is so large, that means that you didn't achieve what your end user wants you to achieve. So involve end users in the process of uh, picking up or having the requirements and in the process of scope verification also. Keeping the thing in mind that requirement or definition is the part of the start of project and scope verification is somehow the end of the project. So you should have to keep ownership to the user, start and at the end of the project. Third point is use off-the-shelf hardware and software whenever possible. As I've already told you in the previous lecture, that in most of the projects, we are not going to make the code at first hand. We are not going to give a new code or a new product. It would be possible that most of the time we are going to use the previous code, the previous tool, previous hardware that we've already been used in our previous project. So it's easy or it's a handy thing that you should have to use things that you've built in the past in terms of hardware or software. So many IT people enjoy using the latest and greatest technology, but business needs, not technology trends, must take priority. Whenever you are going to deal with technology or tool, it's not necessary that you have to use the latest technology or the finest or the newest one. You should have to make the thing clear that it's the demand of your business or not. If it is the demand of your business, then you should have to go with the flow. And if it is not the demand of your business or you are not going to get very much benefit from the new technology or from the new asset or from the new tool, then you have to go with the old one that you've already used, that you've already picked. Fourth point for best practices for avoiding scope problem is follow good project management process. Now, what the good project management process is, there are well-defined processes for managing project scope and other aspects of project. So, as you already knew, that there are different models, different processes that are available for dealing with the software projects. Same is the situation with project management, that you can use different type of tools or different type of methods to develop your project at starting from the very start and heading towards the end. Suggestions for improving user input. How can you improve the input of the user and why this input is necessary? Because the whole project is basically dependent on the user side or on the stakeholder side. Develop a good project selection process and insist that sponsors are from the user's organization. Now why is it so? अगर आप अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस नहीं करते, प्रोजेक्ट सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस अगर अच्छा नहीं है, तो आपके लिए मसले हैं। अब वो बेहतर किस तरह से किया जा सकता है कि आप अपने स्पॉन्सर्स वही उठाएं जो आपके उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के यूजर्स हैं, because users know much more than the simple sponsor. So you should have to make an effort for this, and you have to make it to the end that your users, that your sponsors should be the users, the end users, so that they know the need of the hour. उन्हें पता हो कि असल प्रॉब्लम क्या है और उसको किस तरह से सॉर्ट आउट किया जा सकता है। उन्हें पता हो कि मार्केट के अंदर ट्रेंड क्या है और उस ट्रेंड को फॉलो किस तरह से किया जा सकता है। अगर तो सिर्फ प्रोड्यूसर्स हैं, अगर तो सिर्फ स्पॉन्सर्स हैं, तो इसका मतलब ये है कि स्पॉन्सर्स आर गुड टू गो विद द मनी, बट उन्हें इसके एक्चुअल पैरामीटर्स का, उसके एक्चुअल यूसेज का अंदाज़ा नहीं है। तो आपको उस चीज़ को ख्याल रखते हुए इस बात का ख्याल रखना है that your sponsors should be your users. Next point, have users on the project team is in important roles. अगर आप अपने टीम के अंदर यूजर्स को पार्ट बना लेंगे, तो उससे फर्क क्या पड़ेगा कि आपने एंड में जो प्रोजेक्ट्स को वेरिफिकेशन करनी होगी, दैट वुड बी easy for you. Why is that so? Because you have already include or you have already add your users in your team and that already knew the scenarios behind it. And it would be easy for you and for them to let the things go with the flow. Point number three. Have regular meetings with defined agendas and have users sign off on key deliverables presented at meeting. अब अगर आप रेगुलर मीटिंग्स कंडक्ट करते हैं तो आपको यूजर का इनपुट साथ के साथ मिलता रहेगा और अगर ये आपको साथ के साथ मिलता रहेगा तो आपके लिए आसान हो जाएगा आपके प्रोजेक्ट को डील करना और अगर आप साथ के साथ डिलीवरेबल्स प्रेजेंट करते रहेंगे तो आपको यूजर का फीडबैक भी आसानी से मिल सकेगा. Point number four, deliver something to users and sponsors on a regular basis. रेगुलर बेसिस का बिल्कुल ये मतलब नहीं है कि हर दिन आपने अपने यूजर या स्पॉन्सर को कुछ डिलीवर करना है कुछ डिलीवर करना है. रेगुलर बेसिस का मतलब है एज पर डिसीजन. डिसीजन है अगर हफ्तों महीनों सालों का, इसके अकॉर्डिंगली आपने अपने स्पॉन्सर्स को कोई ना कोई डिलीवरेबल जरूर प्रोवाइड करना है ताकि एक तो उनके फीडबैक्स आपको मिल सके और सेकेंडली ये कि आपके स्पॉन्सर्स या आपके यूजर्स को आइडिया हो सके that what you have already achieved and what is in the way right now. Don't promise to deliver when you know you can't. Now yet again it's an ethical issue, एक professional issue है. अगर आप नहीं कर सकते टाइम पे काम तो आप उस टाइम के लिए प्रॉमिस भी नहीं करें. अगर आपको लगता है कि ये काम इतने टाइम पर इस वक्त तक हो जाएगा और हम इस टाइम तक इसको शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं या इसके मॉड्यूल्स पास कर सकते हैं तो फिर आपको अपनी जो डिसीजंस हैं वो भी उसके अकॉर्डिंग लेने चाहिए. लास्ट थिंग इज को-लोकेट यूजर्स विद डेवलपर्स. डेवलपर्स के साथ यूजर्स को लोकेट करने का यही पर्पस है कि आपके डेवलपर्स जो हैं वो 24/7 आपके यूजर्स के साथ कम्युनिकेट करते रहें और उस कम्युनिकेशन की वजह से आपका काम जो है वो ऑन द होल थोड़ा सा आसान हो जाएगा, फीडबैक मिल जाएगा, इम्प्रूवमेंट हो जाएंगी, कंट्रोल करना आसान हो जाएगा, स्कोप वेरिफिकेशन आसान हो जाएगी, वेरिएंस डिफरेंस कम हो जाएगा एंड सो फोर्थ. तो ये सारी की सारी चीज़ें जो है ये बेहतर हो जाएगी. Suggestions for reducing incomplete and changing requirements. पहले suggestions की user input. अब suggestions हैं अगर आपको requirements change करनी पड़ जाए या requirements जो है वो incomplete है तो what you have to do. Point number one is develop and follow a requirements management process. एक requirement management process बना लें requirements को जिस तरह से आप manage करना चाहते हैं एंड देन उसी के ऊपर आप काम करते रहें या उसी को फॉलो करते रहें. Next thing, use techniques such as prototyping, use case modeling, and joint application design to get more user involvement. यूज़र की इन्वॉल्वमेंट जितनी ज़्यादा होती जाएगी या आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स उतनी ज़्यादा आसान होती जाएगी इस तरह से कि आपको क्लियर होती जाएगी. यही अगर आप अपने यूज़र से इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं लेते हैं, डायरेक्ट यूज़र से इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं लेते हैं या अगर आप किसी एक स्पॉन्सर से बात करते हैं या सिर्फ उसी से मिलते हैं तो होगा क्या कि आपको रिक्वायरमेंट जो है वो कंप्लीट नहीं मिलेंगी. अगर वो कंप्लीट नहीं मिलेगी तो आगे उनको यूज़ करना जो है वो मुश्किल हो जाएगा और उनको उस तरह से इम्प्लीमेंट करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. तो इसलिए बेहतर टेक्निक क्या है कि आप प्रोटोटाइप कर लें, यूज़ केस बना लें, जोइंट एप्लीकेशन डिज़ाइन यूज़ कर लें. इसका फ़ायदा क्या होगा कि जब भी कभी आपके पास कोई चेंज आएगा तो वो चेंज जो है वो ऑटोमेट किया जा सकेगा विद द हेल्प ऑफ दीज टूल्स. Put all requirements in writing, keep them current and readily available. जितनी भी रिक्वायरमेंट जो है वो सब आपने लिखनी है. अगर आप नहीं लिखेंगे तो आपकी कोई ना कोई रिक्वायरमेंट मिस हो सकती है और अगर मिस हो जाएगी तो फिर आपको एंड टाइम पे जाके चेंज करनी पड़ेगी. सो कीप देम करंट एंड रेडीली अवेलेबल. आपको लग रहा है कि ये रिक्वायरमेंट जो है ये बहुत पुरानी हो गई है तो यू शुड हैव टू अपडेट. Last point is create a requirement management database for documenting and controlling requirements. That is case tools. रिक्वायरमेंट मैनेजमेंट के लिए एक पूरी डेटाबेस बना लें, डॉक्यूमेंट करने के लिए डेटाबेस बना लें। इससे फ़ायदा क्या होगा कि आपके पास एक पूरी डॉक्यूमेंटेड रिक्वायरमेंट मौजूद होगी। जब कभी कोई मसला होगा आप उस डॉक्यूमेंट की मदद से अपने काम को जस्टिफाई कर सकेंगे। Next point is provide adequate testing and conduct testing throughout the project life cycle. अगर आप टेस्टिंग करते रहेंगे साथ के साथ तो भी आपको रिक्वायरमेंट्स की इनकम्प्लीटनेस का इतना अंदाज़ा नहीं होगा, या अगर आप चेंजिंग वगैरह होगी तो उसका भी आपको टाइम ही पता चलेगा। आपके पास एडिक्वेट टेस्टिंग जो है वो आप प्रोवाइड करें और कंडक्ट करें टेस्टिंग को, ताकि आप पूरे लाइफ साइकिल के अंदर अपनी रिक्वायरमेंट्स को साथ के साथ लेके चल सकें। रिव्यू चेंजेस फ्रॉम अ सिस्टम्स पर्सपेक्टिव। अगर कोई चेंज वगैरह करना पड़ जाए तो उसको भी रिव्यू कर लें, ताकि अगर कोई चेंज की या किसी रिक्वायरमेंट चेंज की ज़रूरत पड़े तो उसको देखा जा सके। प्रोजेक्ट स्कोप चेंजेस मस्ट इंक्लूड एसोसिएटेड कॉस्ट एंड स्केड्यूल चेंजेस। अगर स्कोप में कोई तब्दीली आई है तो आपको कॉस्ट में अगर तब्दीली करनी है वो भी साथ दें, और अगर आपने स्केड्यूल में कोई तब्दीली करनी है तो वो भी आप साथ के साथ बता दें, ताकि जो भी चेंजेस हैं वो ऑन द होल की जा सके। Focus on approved scope goals and don't get sidetracked. जो भी अप्रूव्ड स्कोप गोल्स हैं उनके ऊपर फोकस करें, और जो भी इन अप्रूव्ड हैं, नॉट अप्रूव्ड हैं, उनको फोकस करने की ज़रूरत फिलहाल के लिए नहीं है। एम्फेसिस कंप्लीशन डेट्स टू हेल्प फोकस ऑन व्हाट्स मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट। कंप्लीशन डेट्स मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बताई है कि ये प्रोफेशनलिज्म का तकाजा है कि आपने काम वही करना है जो कि आपके लिए लगता है, आपके लिए नॉर्मल है या किया जा सकता है या पॉसिबल है। तो इसलिए आपकी कंप्लीशन डेट्स जो है वो रियलिस्टिक रखनी है। एलोकेट रिसोर्सेज स्पेसिफिकली फॉर हैंडलिंग चेंज। और अगर आपको लगता है कि कहीं पर तब्दीली आ सकती है तो आपको ऑलरेडी उसको डील करने के लिए रिसोर्सेज एलोकेट होने चाहिए। आपको पता होना चाहिए कि इस मसले के लिए मैं इसके पास जाऊँगा तो ये प्रॉब्लम जो है वो सॉर्ट आउट हो जाएगी। यूजिंग सॉफ्टवेयर टू असिस्ट इन प्रोजेक्ट स्कोप मैनेजमेंट। सॉफ्टवेयर इस्तेमाल किए जा सकते हैं स्कोप मैनेजमेंट के लिए। आप वर्ड प्रोसेसिंग इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, जो भी आपने लिखना है, इन रिटन लिखना है, जो रखना है आप अपने पास वो यूज़ कर सकते हैं। स्प्रेडशीट्स इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं डिफरेंट मॉडल्स बनाने के लिए, फाइनेंशियल एनालिसिस के लिए, चार्ट्स और ग्राफ्स बनाने के लिए। कम्युनिकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर जैसे कि ईमेल्स वगैरह कर सकते हैं, वेब हेल्प कर सकते हैं। ये क्यों कर सकते हैं? क्योंकि आपको पता है कि आपके स्कोप के अंदर इन तमाम चीज़ों की वो ज़रूरत पड़ने वाली है। प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट सॉफ्टवेयर हेल्प इन क्रिएटिंग अ WBS द बेसिस फॉर टास्क ऑन अ गैंट चार्ट। अब अगर आपने प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट सॉफ्टवेयर इस्तेमाल किया है तो आपका WBS जो है वो उसी के अंदर बन जाएगा, और WBS जो है वो आगे हेल्प करता है आपकी गैंट चार्ट। Specialized software is available to assist in project scope management, और जितने भी स्पेशलाइज सॉफ्टवेयर अवेलेबल हैं तो असिस्ट करने के लिए अवेलेबल है, और वो किस चीज़ के असिस्टेंस है? प्रोजेक्ट स्कोप